Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I have a very fun video for us planned. I think it's a very unrealistic video, but it's gonna be my fall TBR. I have a lot of books that I've been saying I'm going to read in the fall. Will I get to them? Will I actually be able to do it? I don't think so, but a girl can dream, okay? So I have this huge stack here. I actually have already started reading one book off this list. I'm gonna add it. It was part of the fall TBR, so I think it's only right to add it to it. So like, pat on the back for me, okay? I'm actually staying true to this. This could be, probably not, but I feel like this could be doable. Maybe not. I'll probably pick and choose the ones I want to read most out of this list. But anyway, let's just get into my stack here because I have a lot of books, so let's go over them. Also, I put on my Twilight shirt just for this video. I thought it was very appropriate, okay, for the fall time, even though it's not actually feeling like fall outside. I live in California and it's like 80 degrees outside, but once again, a girl can dream, okay? I want it to be like that vibe, so whatever. In my brain it is. So the first book that I've actually already started reading is Heartless Hunter, and I've had this on my shelf for a bit and I'm like, you know what, I will read it. I feel like the vibes are great right now. It's gonna put me in that mindset because I really wanted to read like a fantasy book, fall fantasy vibes, and this one's really hitting the spot. This one is actually really good so far. I will say though, the main character, or the love interest, because this is an enemies to lovers, like witch hunter vibes, like that's what's going on. I will say that the main dude's name being Gideon, it took a little bit for me to get past that. I'm about halfway through the book and every time I hear Gideon, or even when I was reading the back of it, I was like, I'm thinking of the little dude from Gravity Falls. Yeah, the little guy in the suit with like shiny hair. That's who I kept thinking of. I know that he looks nothing like that. In my mind, I think I've gotten past that now, but at first I was like, why Gideon? To me, that's not the most like, I don't know, like sexy fantasy guy name, but it has to be. So anyway, the book is really good. I'm on page 194, so I'm about like halfway-ish through the book, and so far I'm actually really loving it. I feel like the angst is there. They still kind of don't like each other, and it's exactly what I was looking for. I also think that the magic system, or like witch system, is very cool. I haven't read a whole lot of like witch books, so I think it's really cool how they have to use like fresh blood and stuff like that, and it's like they're drawing symbols in order to make like the spells work. I think it's really cool. And the casting scars, those are so cool. I know that that's like a bad thing because like it shows who a witch is, but I think that's so cool. But yeah, I'm really liking it. So that's Heartless Hunter. I've heard great things about this and so far it's pretty good. The next book I have is If He Had Been With Me, and I don't know why, but this book just screams fall time to me. I cannot explain it. I think maybe just because it's school time and it's like starting of a new school year. It just screams fall to me, and I don't know, it's kind of like small town, I don't know how to describe it, but like small town school vibes where there's like a lot of drama in school. I don't know, it screams fall time to me, and I know this is very sad and everyone like bawls their eyes out to it. I think I probably will too, but something about it I just think is really cute. I know it's about these two best friends. Autumn and Finn were childhood best friends. Their moms were best friends and they had kids at the same exact time, and so they were like, our children are gonna be best friends. And then Autumn gets a boyfriend, but then she's still kind of in love with Finn, but she like hasn't told him because they're best friends, and I feel like it's just gonna have a lot of pining in it. I think there's gonna be some sort of accident or car crash. I don't know why, but I don't think I'm prepared for this. I think I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good. I don't think I'm prepared, but I want to read it this fall time, so something about it, I don't know. Then I have the two books I've literally been saying for the longest time in basically every video. I want to read Binding 13 and possibly start my ACOTAR journey. I don't know. Am I gonna actually crack these open and read them? It's ideal, but will I do it? I don't know. These still kind of scare me. I think I am more hesitant for this, and I think I might actually give this one a try. I think I will actually read this because, yet again, also this gives me school time vibes and just like pining and like brand new school year, and I don't know. I feel like this and this have similar vibes to me. They're not really, but in my brain they kind of do, so I want to read these. This one still kind of scares me. Someone yell at me to read this, please. Someone yell at me to read ACOTAR. It's gonna happen one day. I just don't know when. Next we have If We Were Villains. I got this for my birthday like 2 years ago. Oh my gosh, wait, gonna be 3 years ago. But it's just a dark academia book. This takes place over the past and present, and then we get flashbacks from what actually went down. So basically this book is about 7 kids who are Shakespearean actors at this conservatory, and they have to basically convince the police that they're all innocent because I guess a murder happens at this school, so they're like keeping this secret amongst themselves. And in the prologue I remember reading when I first got it, someone got convicted of the murder and he's talking to this reporter or a friend or something like that, and he's like, please tell me what actually happened. And he's like, okay, well I can't get double jeopardy, so let me tell you all the events that happened that night. I think that's really cool. I've heard people compare this book to, I think, The Secret History. I think that's the one that everyone talks about. I haven't read The Secret History yet either, but I think this will be fun. It's like a murder mystery, dark academia. I don't know, I think that'll be pretty cool. The next book I have is The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and this is a vampire slash Hunger Games book. I mean, if it's vampires, I'll probably eat it up. But it's one human, our main character. She's a human girl amongst vampires that are in like these deadly Hunger Games like trials. And obviously she has to fall for one of them. It wouldn't be romantic without it. So I think this is also enemies to lovers, if I'm correct. But oh my gosh, look at that. Look how pretty that is. I've heard also great things about this. Everyone raved about this when it was kind of like, you know, blowing up on TikTok or whatever, but I'm excited for this one. I did read a couple pages of this one. If I'm being real with you, the prologue, pretty nat. Normally when I buy a book, I always read like the first chapter or prologue, and I think Human Girlie was an orphan, and the king, oh yeah, she's like the daughter of like the vampire king or something like that, giving Marceline energy, but she's actually a human. I don't know how she ends up in the trials, but I'm really excited to read this one. The next book I recently bought, and it is The Obsession, and this is a kind of like a YA stalker book. It's about this girl named Delilah and this dude Logan who's stalking her. I think he kind of like ruins her life, but she's like, you know what, I don't want to live in fear. So I think she attacks him or stalks him or something like that. She's gonna get him back, really. I don't know, I liked the cover. I think the cover was really cool. And so yeah, boy meets girl, boy stalks girl, girl gets revenge, girlie's gonna do the damn thing, and she's gonna get him back. Yeah, on the back it goes, a classic sort of love story, except someone might wind up dead. Let's hope it's the stalker, because we're not about that lifestyle, okay? We're not about that. Also, maybe not about killing, but if he was a stalker, maybe he deserved it. Wait, it's dual POV too. That's gonna be so cool because we can like see inside of his mind. It'll be kind of like You, but like YA version. This is gonna be good. I can just have a feeling this is gonna be so good. The next one I have is The 7-Year Slip. Everyone says this book is so good. I've literally seen so many tweets and like TikToks being like, this is one of the books I wish that I could read again for the very first time. I have not read it, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and once again, I don't know why I haven't read it. A lot of books sit on my shelf that I'm so excited to read, and then I just end up not reading them. I don't know why I'm like this. But I have The 7-Year Slip, and this is like a cutesy, I think it's a cutesy book. I hope they end up together. I did hear one person say that they were crying by the end of this, and I was like, wait, do they not end up together? I thought it was like a cute little contemporary romance. Our main character, I think her name, what's her name? Analia. She ends up inheriting her grandma's old apartment because I think she passes away. And in this apartment, it time travels. Basically, there's this man living in her apartment 7 years in the past. And I'm assuming she falls in love with him, but it's 7 years ago. Is he dead? I don't even know. Maybe he's dead. Whatever. I don't know how, like, does she end up with him? If he's 7 years in the past and you're in the present, how are y'all gonna end up together? I don't know, but people rave about this book and I'm so excited to read it. My mom even wants to read this, okay? She like picks and chooses sometimes books. She's like, that would be interesting, you should read that and tell me. And I was like, no girl, you read it. Like, come on, I'm trying to get her to become a reader. She's read like 2 books so far and I'm like, yes. But it's not her favorite thing to do in the world. And she's like, please read this and tell me what happens. And I'm like, it's gonna happen. One day. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this, but I don't want to cry at the end of it. I don't want it to be sad. I'm not someone who reads books to be sad. Like if the book is like incredibly sad, I won't want to read it. Like A Little Life, you cannot pay me to read that. I heard it just gets worse and worse and worse every chapter and everyone's bawling their eyes by the end of it. I'm like, I don't need that extra trauma in my life. I don't need to be miserable and sad more so than I am, okay? No, thank you. So we'll see about this. Me saying that as I'm all like, I'm so excited to read this. Oh my goodness. The next book I have is One Dark Window, and this is like a gothic fantasy. Inside the girlie's mind, our main girlie, she has this dark inner voice or something. I really don't know, but everyone says this book is like outrageous in a good way, like in a good way. Everyone says it's really good. And I did read a chapter of it already and I was intrigued. So I just feel like this would be great. What is that? Oh my gosh. I have a package. It's probably at the door. Sorry for that. Oh, it's Prime. That's not my package. My package is supposed to be coming by FedEx. Okay, anyway. This book just gives me... Dude, you literally just backed up. Why are you going again? Is that just gonna keep on going? This book just screams fall time to me. It's like gothic and scary. When I hear gothic, I think like just dark and mysterious. This screams fall time. Yeah, I'm excited to read this. And do we see the like gold framing on it? I think that's so pretty. What's the second? Can that truck stop backing up? Possibly. He like did like a 10-point turn. Sir, I'm hoping that I get a chance to read it this fall time. But yeah, excited for Dark Window. The next book, The Hacienda. I have not heard a single person talk about this book, but it looks so good to me. And this is like kind of out of my genre, but like not really. Just, I don't know, something about this looks so good. I'm gonna read just the little top blurb on it because I got this book a while ago and I was like, wait, this looks good, but I kind of overall forgot what it's about. But it says, in the aftermath of the Mexican War of Independence, a young woman is certain that her wealthy new husband and his remote estate will save her. But something sinister lurks within the hacienda walls. That sounds so good. Our main girl, Beatrice, ends up marrying this dude, Don Rodolfo. He sends her to go live in this hacienda. I think it's the middle of nowhere. But also there's like weird rumors about him, or like his first wife. She like died suddenly, okay? Nobody knows what happened to her. Anyway, she goes to live at his hacienda, but he has to go back to work in the capital. So she's basically there all by herself with the housekeepers and the cooks and maids and stuff like that. But then she ends up realizing something is wrong with this hacienda. Like she sees symbols and hears stuff and sees stuff, and she's like, something's not right about this place. It's basically haunted. So she ends up befriending a priest there and they end up catching feelings for each other. So there's a little bit of like a romance going on in this too, but I think he has to rely on his skills as a witch. Wait, he's a witch. The priest also doubles as a witch. Wait, what? Andreas will have to rely on his skills as a witch to fight off the malevolent presence haunting the hacienda and protect the woman for whom he feels a powerful, forbidden attraction. But even he might not be enough to battle the darkness. Doesn't that sound good? That sounds so good. Okay, so we have like a little subplot of romance with the priest who's actually doubling as a witch. I don't know, but it sounds good. It just sounds like a perfect fall book. And my very last book is Vicious. I just recently bought this and I have had my eye on this for like the longest time. It's like a dark academia book. It's basically about these two boys who are roommates in college and they have, I think, like the same thesis, or they're both like super interested into like supernatural occurrences. Somehow they end up getting powers and they end up being completely different sides of the spectrum of how they use these powers. One turns into a villain and one turns into a hero, and they're like arch nemesis, nemesis, I never know how to say that, nemesis to each other. But anyway, they're just like sworn enemies, and I think that's just so cool because like they were once best friends. I just found like that's so wholesome, and then they just end up not being friends anymore and they end up hating each other. I just think like the beginnings or the origins of how they start is so cool. I've heard like nothing but great things about this. I'm excited to read this. Since it's dark academia, I was like, this is gonna give fall vibes. And maybe a little bit of fantasy too, so it's like dark academia, fantasy. I don't know, it sounds fall to me, okay? Anyway, this is a very unrealistic goal for me to meet. Who knows? Maybe I'll surprise myself. I doubt that I will, but you know, it's great to have dreams. It's great to have goals, okay? It's good to be delusional at times. But yeah, that's my stack of all the books that I want to read this fall. Some of them just fell. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know that's probably a very unrealistic TBR, but who knows, guys? We'll see. But yeah, that's it for this video. Bye, guys.